And welcome to another review room tutorial. As promised, this is part two of the part where we're trying to show you how you can basically test your review room. So as you remember, we signed up as a new applicant, and now here we are. This is the applicant screen. So as you can see, there are a lot of things here, and if I scroll a little down, you're going to see that this is what the application view looks like. You can see that the deadline information is here. The different tasks that we're trying to complete are also here. And you can also see that the Submit Your Application button is currently not enabled. And the reason for that is we still haven't finished all required tasks. So as soon as we finish all of our required tasks, then that Submit Your Application button will also become visible. So I'm just going to click on this Tell Us About Yourself link. And as soon as I do, we're going to basically see the same form that we created previously. And as I go through the form, it's really nice because every time I press next, it'll essentially show the progress bar of how far along I am in this particular form. And basically, so I'll just continue filling this out with some sample information. And this time when I press next, you'll see that we had put email validation here, and so it won't let us actually go through unless we've completed that email validation. So I'm just going to press next again, and this is a final page, and this was our nice little calendar icon that we set up. And we'll press next one more time. Actually, it looks like we're still have a little bit to do. So this is a question type that we also showed you. And one of the things that we might want to do to make this display better, for example, is go back into the form and make the width of the first column smaller. But it's really nice because, as you can see, you can basically create a table-like question, as we showed you in a previous tutorial. Now I'm just pressing next page one more time, and this was the final part. And as you can see, if I press yes, it'll ask me for an email address, and if I press no, it won't ask me for one. And as I submit, it essentially says, all right, well, your form was complete. Now click here to return to your application. So I click on that, and now I'm back here. And the cool thing is that now I can view, edit, or delete the tasks that I previously completed. And if I scroll down, you'll notice my Submit Your Application button is now enabled. Now, the reason why it's enabled is because the only task that we had made required for this application was to Tell Us About Yourself task. Now, had we made these other tasks required as well, what would have happened is that those the submit button wouldn't have been enabled unless I clicked on that. Now, just want to scroll down and show you the following, which is there's a date and timestamp for all activities taken. So if your review room is one where an applicant can have co-applicants, what will happen is that each application or each user's name will appear here, so you can actually see which user did what within the application. Now, the other thing I want to draw your attention to on the right hand side is a bunch of things over here, and all of these things really are basically options that you can turn on and off. Right? So the withdraw application button, if I click on this as an applicant, it will basically withdraw my application. Obviously, it'll ask me to confirm first, but afterwards it'll withdraw. Now, the important point here is that if you don't want to allow people to withdraw, you can actually disable that in the settings section, and we'll talk about that later. The other thing that's important is the attachment section. Now, the attachment section, in the same way, allows users to upload additional material. So these are the name tasks, and these are things that you require them to do. But let's say they had another document that they would think that is super relevant to the competition or the process, they could actually upload that as well. But let's say you don't want any extra documents or anything like that, you can actually disable this section as well. Now, on the right-hand side, you'll also notice how far along I am in the application. Now, it says that I'm 33% complete. Why is that? Well, the 33% really refers to the required tasks. In this section, I'm required to add a logo, right? I'm required to fill out the Tell Us About Yourself task, and I'm also required to submit your application. So essentially, the two things that I have left are left to add a logo and submit my application. As soon as I do, then my application will be 100% complete. There's also view rankings, so you can optionally allow applicants to see their rankings from judges on an anonymous basis. If you don't want that, that can be removed as well. Similarly to add logo, that can be removed as well. So it's a very customizable interface, and you can run through the process as an applicant yourself, test it out, and figure out what things you're missing in order to make the application process seamless for your applicants. Well, thanks very much. We'll see you in part 3 of the applicant process.